Hi everyone, Bruno Recommends Records here, and today I'm doing a video for the not very official Vinyl Tag 2026 from David Atkinson. Um, I don't know if you watched my last video, which I mentioned there's already another Vinyl Tag going on that happened in less than 24 hours after David posted his Vinyl Tag. And this is the other Vinyl Tag is from another channel called um, Middle Life Crisis Rants. I always have to think about the big name. From Joey, which is also a Portuguese fellow like me living outside Portugal. And I follow his channel for quite a while. He's more dedicated to punk rock music, but he has a very interesting vinyl tag. He wasn't aware of this vinyl tag from David. He told me that in the comment section on my last video. But he also said that, well, right now it doesn't matter because he already put it out, and his intention is the same than David, which is to create something for the vinyl community to engage. So I know there's already quite a few videos on David's take, and probably there won't be that many people going for the the tag from Joey, which is the official Vinyl Tag 2026. I think that is the name, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, I'm gonna do both. So today I'm gonna present my take on David's one, and on January I'm gonna present my take on Joey's one. This because I already told him I'm gonna use his vinyl tag as an excuse to um, order a few more records that I don't have and I always wanted to, that will really look cool to answer his prompts. So there you go. Okay, without further ado, let's go to the not very official Vinyl Tag 2026. 20 prompts, so I'll try to be as concise as possible, but there are a few that I'm gonna be straightforward, and there are others where I'm gonna tell like a story associated to it, so I hope you don't mind. First prompt: show your best vinyl or other format purchase of 2025. So this is, I had quite a few really cool purchases this year, but I'm going just for one, or else the video would be bigger than it's gonna be. And I'm talking about Frankenchrist from Dead Kennedys. So this is the first German pressing from Alternative Tentacles and Wall City Records. So the story behind this is I went on holiday to Berlin last August, and I went to this shop. I can't remember the name right now, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave the name of that shop in my video description, just right below. So check it out if you want to know which shop I'm talking about. And it's a really cool shop, quite small, but has quite a really nice selection, especially if you're looking for those kind of records that are harder to find and usually are a little bit more pricey. But I assure you guys that in that shop you can find some really sometimes in mint condition records for lower than the prices that are being asked on Discogs or eBay or other places. So it was really nice. I found this was a record that I really wanted for a long time, but I wanted complete. And when I mean complete, is with the HR Giger poster that it was censored, and it was they went to court with it and was quite a problematic. There are some editions that start coming with a sticker. Further editions, they just removed the poster out, and the problem wasn't with Giger in terms of copyrights. It was like really censorship, because the image is quite hardcore in a sense. And Giger is always that painter that goes towards mixes sexuality with machines or industrialization, factory kind of thing. So it's one of my favorite painters of all time. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, and if you watch the movie Alien, he was the one who designed the creature and the world and the ship of the creature. So there you go. Yeah, he also did some covers. Did a cover for Debbie Harris that is very well known for her first solo album, Cuckoo. And he also did the famous Brain Salad Surgery cover for Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So there you go. And yeah, I was able to buy this copy, which is like I was telling, a first press or an original press from Germany, which came on 1985, sorry, and it includes this lyric insert. This one is in German, and you have the one that is common to UK and the US edition, which is this one. And there's the poster, which I'm gonna show it as quick as possible because of any problems. So that's the image that kind of put Dead Kennedys on the court for quite a while and kind of made them lose lots and lots of money. And I think because of that, they kind of ended the band. They went to bankruptcy or something like that, or that might be a myth, I don't know. Just check it out. So pretty mint copy, and the cover is the same. And curious fact, when I found this in the shop, I didn't have many that much information about this German copy, so I didn't know if it was a reissue or not. And I asked the guy in the shop if it was an original German pressing, and he wasn't sure because he wasn't the boss, was someone working there that very day. And so I didn't risk it because it was 60 euros. So I went back home, and then I checked online, and you go to Discogs, and it's the first thing that comes up in terms of copies is German copy. And I was like, this is the one. I was so stupid. People are asking 90 pounds from it. So what have I done? I don't know if it's going to be there tomorrow, but I went back to the shop in the other day and it was still there. So I just brought it with me, and it was because it was a record that I wanted for so long. And it has like my favorite song from Dead Kennedys, which is Hell Nation. And I used to do a cover with my last band before I moved into London. So yeah, that's it. I'm a happy guy now. Hooray! Let's go for the second prompt. Share your favorite live musical experience of 2025. So last month, November, I went to watch 3 concerts that I really wanted to watch for a long time. The last one was Maruja, which is a recent band, and they're going to be touring around the world, US included. They have lots of shows for US, and if you don't know the band, check them out. Maruja. They're really, really cool. Have a saxophone player, let's say, and they kind of like a really nice mixture between a post-punk kind of sometimes a little bit of Rage Against the Machine vibe in terms of reactionism, but they always go towards a love message. Really interesting, but I'm not going to talk about them. So the first concert I went to watch in 1st of November was Lindisfarne, which is a folk band from UK. They're from Newcastle, Geordies. So and it's been like I became fanatic by the band this year, so I really wanted to see them live, although they only have one member from the first lineup of the band right now, but it was an amazing concert. But the one I'm going to talk about is Focus, which is the prog rock Netherlands band, and they were amazing. They only have the lead singer and the drummer from the first lineup, which is Tige and Pierre on the drums, and they were amazing. They gave this amazing concert. But I was pretty lucky because they decided to do an autograph session in the end of the concert. Luckily, I thought, well, let's take some record covers with me from the first albums that include both Tige and Pierre, and maybe I can get some autographs from both of them, which I did. But I also bought the last album from them, which includes the current lineup from the band. And there you go. This is their last album, Focus 12. I wasn't sure because the song in here is Focus 13. Every album has a focus with a number as a song. And it's a really cool album. You should check it out if you like Focus, or especially the first albums. Or if you never heard about the band, go and check it. If you like prog rock from the 70s. And the curious thing is, usually Pierre, the drummer, he doesn't go to the autograph sessions, or he's the hardest one to get an autograph, because in the end of the concert is only dedicated with the roadie putting his drum kit aside, which he's really keen on. It's like his baby. And so I asked the merchandise guy, do you think it's possible to have an autograph from Pierre? And he said, well, you know that Pierre doesn't do the autograph session, so the best way probably is try to go next to the stage, wait for him to finish he putting away the drum kit, and then try to be nice and ask him nicely if he doesn't mind to do if he doesn't mind to autograph the records for you. So I went there, and then the security started approaching me like, no, you can't approach the stage. And I was like, well, but I was told this in the merchandise. And they were like, oh, there was this woman, she was really nice actually. She said, you have to wait for him to go to the autograph session. And the other guy said, well, the problem is Pierre doesn't do the autographs. And she was like, and I was like, yeah, that's that's why I'm here, because the merchandise guy suggested me to do this. And she was like, oh, so Pierre asked us to leave, for people to leave him alone while he's putting away his drum kit. So let me speak with him. And then if he agrees to autograph your records, I'll do a sign to you, and then you come next to the door and you'll do it. Which it happens. And I spoke a little bit with Pierre. The same. I was able to speak with all the three other members from the band, but Pierre is not very common for that to happen. And I was able to do that and to get my records autographed by Pierre, which is amazing. And he's one of my favorite drummers from the 70s. Okay, next to let's go for the next prompt. Your final record collection in 10 years' time, is it bigger, smaller, or about the same? Explain why. Well, I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but last year by this time, I was a little bit in a tight spot, let's say, and I had to move from the place I was living in to a new place, and as fast as possible. So I considered, because of that, I considered there was a time in my life that I considered selling my record collection. I'm not kidding. And so my answer is this, and this is going to be an advice. I live for the present, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So never take anything for granted, and be thankful for what you have today. Because tomorrow, anything can happen. You know, the world can go into a war, let's hope not, or anything. Something bad can happen without you expecting it. So never take anything for granted, and enjoy the present as much as possible. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right now, in my head, I still want lots of records, so the tendency is to grow a little bit more. But like similar to what Edwin from Pretty Vinyl Guy channel said, he's thinking on to move to another place and probably another country. I'm thinking on doing that in a couple of years' time as well. So the bigger the collection grows, it's gonna be worse for me to be able to move everything. So I don't know. If that happens, I might go for a purge, which I do oftenly. Once in a while, I'll just look at my collection and I just start noticing I don't listen to that record, I don't listen to that record, and I put like 10, 20, 30 records aside, go to a shop and then ask for exchange in terms of a budget in the shop. And sometimes I bring like these records that cost like 100 and something pounds with me. It already happened last year. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so the tendency, I would love my record collection to grow because I like lots of stuff and I don't have, my want list on Discogs is huge. So, but yeah, it depends on a lot of factors. So I live for today, and today, that's it. Okay. Related to this answer, it's the fourth prompt. You move into a new home, you play one record turned up to 11. This is like a reference to Spinal Tap's movie. This is Spinal Tap. If you didn't watch it, watch it. To announce your arrival, what is it and why? Well, I don't have a specific record to do that, and I'm a very respectful neighbor. So I don't play records before and after certain hours. I'm a very respectful person with my neighbors. I like to be a good neighbor. Don't get me wrong. And I listen to hardcore and metal and stuff really noisy and insane. But yeah, I'm that kind of guy. So I don't have a specific record to say I'm here, guys. So face me from now on. But when I moved to this house, and I was still putting everything on its place and trying to see and playing some Tetris, like to see what is the best place for each thing. It took me until February. I didn't have my turntable and stereo, the rest of the stereo stuff. Put it on. I was just listening music from my phone and from my computer from streaming. And some of the records I bought on January, one of them was this one from Elvis Presley, which is a compilation, Golden Records. I think it had like volume. This is volume 1. I think it had volume 2, volume 3, 4, 5, something like that. But this is one that has lots of music that I really love from Elvis. Some of them really well known, like Jailhouse Rock, for example. And this is a 1958 UK mono, first press or OG, because there was this guy last year or on 2023 that went into an argument with me online because he disagreed that the first pressing wasn't more than the very first pressing. So whatever. For me, a first pressing from the first edition that comes on the country, for me it's a first pressing, but you can call it a G. So don't get me wrong. Don't start going full Nelson with me on the comments. There you go, red label. And this was the first record I put it on. And this is not going to be my record every time I move to another place, but this is the best example I can give to you. This is the example that happened with me this year when I moved to this house. So there you go. Show 2 albums, one each for your favorite male and female singers. Why these 2? This is the 5th prompt. So for this one, I like Jeff Buckley or Frank Sinatra. I liked it, but I wanted to move out from an answer that probably is going to be given by another person. So I'm going for Snot, and I'm talking about Lynn Strait. Sorry, I was forgetting his name. And he had an amazing voice because unfortunately he had a car crash with his dog. both passed away. This was in 1997 or 1998, which is the record came out only on CD on 1997, and this is the first time it came out on vinyl, which is on 2017. So we can consider the first vinyl pressing by Universal Music and music on vinyl. A 180 grams. Not that make a big difference, but anyway, just referring to it. It's an European copy. And he has this kind of really aggressive voice where he can scream and sing at the same time. I don't know how to explain this better. The only guy it comes to my mind that can do that is Phil Anselmo from Pantera, which is something really hard, because I was a lead singer on a heavy hardcore band for a long time. I had quite a few of them, and it's really hard. I tried it, and it's really hard when you start screaming, like going melodic and screaming. It's something almost impossible. So I think it's almost like you sing and you can make your singing become like a scream or more aggressive, which is hard the same way. So there you go. Lynn Stanley from Snot is my choice for this vinyl tag. And for the female, I'm going to be honest, my favorite female singer from ever is Ella Fitzgerald, and then might be Janis Joplin, and then might be a Brazilian singer called Elis Regina. My daughter is called Elis, has like an homage to her. But I didn't want to go through a similar answer again, so I'm gonna go back to the jazz singers from the same era than Ella Fitzgerald. And I'm going towards one singer that usually it's not very oftenly mentioned, which is Anita O'Day. And I really love this record. She has a really nice version of Pick Yourself Up, which became like a motto in my life. Pick yourself up, dust yourself up, and start all over again. It's the chorus. So that became really a motto in my life, just picking myself up, dusting the bad things away, and let's start again and let's move forward. And besides, this is a first US press. Where do I have it? Let me read it. From Verve Records, a mono, obviously, from 1956. The cover is in pretty good shape, apart like has like a little bit of a tape here on the top. I'm not going to take it out, or else the video is going to take longer than it's already going on. So this is it, my choice for the female artist. Prompt number 6. We like to have fun here. Show your top 3 soul dance records. I'm going to go straight with just one band, and that's Jamiroquai. So I'm going to go with their first album, Emergency on Planet Earth. The second album, The Return of the Space Cowboy, and the third album, Traveling Without Moving. So these are all re-editions. The first 2 from 2017, and the second one, which is on yellow vinyl. I really don't care that much about color or anything, but it brings like some extra tracks that I really wanted to have as well on vinyl. So for now, while I don't have the single, which the song that comes on the single that comes on this record and I wanted, that single is one of the most expensive ones. So for now, this is fine for me. I would love to have first editions, but they're from the same label. These are from Sony Music. It's the exact same label from the original ones. So I believe they used the original masters. And they sound good. They sound great. So my choice is Jamiroquai for me. While I was growing in the 90s as a teenager, grunge came out, rap metal came out, new metal came out. Before that, I used to listen to thrash metal, punk hardcore, always been there in my life. So, like, kind of funk, disco music, soul was something that wasn't in my listenings. And the band that put me listening to more funk music and appreciate funk music, it was Jamiroquai, and that because of the bass player that's included in these very three first albums, which is Stuart Sander. He left over it, and he's one of my favorite bass players all time, especially in terms of composition. You take his bass lines out, and you almost take like 50% of the music out. It's incredible. And if you're listening to the tune and you don't like go straight to the bass line and you just following everything in one go, you missed it, how important his bass lines are and how good a bass player he is. And he's still around, but yeah, he doesn't play with Jamiroquai since then, which I think it's 1998, probably something like that. I want to get wrong. So yeah, and they're like this soul, funk, disco, acid jazz band. So I think it fits in this prompt pretty well, and I don't need to answer with anyone else. Let's go for the eighth one. If you had to pick only one album from each of the last 6 decades, what would they be? So the first one is 60s, and I'm going with this Portuguese artist called Carlos Paredes. You see this weird instrument is called the Portuguese guitar, Guitarra Portuguesa, which at some point in time, Jimmy Page approached Carlos Paredes to learn how to play the guitar. I don't know if it really went forward or not, or if he had at least a lesson, but yeah, that is true, that he approached this guitar player to do it. So this instrument usually was used in a very specific genre of music, which is really, really Portuguese, called fado, which means fate, but like in the negative sense, like the heaviness of the faith. We're very tragic, okay? Portuguese people are very tragic by nature. It's like a cultural thing and genetic. But yeah, this guy approached the instrument like Astor Piazzolla picked up on, how do you call it, the accordion, and gave it a new life way beyond tango. This guy did the same with the Portuguese guitar, and if you like world music, instrumental stuff, sort of classical music. He also played, I think, was with Charlie Hayden. He has a record with Charlie Hayden, if I'm not wrong, like the both of them. So he replays some of his songs, and he plays some songs from Charlie Hayden. I think it's Charlie Hayden. I have to check it out, but I think it is. So this is not your original press that came out on 1967. This is a copy from 1983, which has this, that was the first album, and the second album on the other side. So there you go. But if you don't know and you like this kind of ethnic, classical, instrumental, world music, try it out, Carlos Paredes. I'll leave his name on the video description. It's my advice for the 60s. So, going for the 70s, I'm going with Thick as a Brick from Jethro Tull. This was the first time that I heard a record that was only one song. So it was quite a surprise to me, and I wasn't around on 1972. I was only born on 1979. So, well, let's say that the story behind, I started listening to Jethro Tull in the 90s. There was this thing on VH1 where they had some shorts related with some albums, and one of them, it wasn't Thick as a Brick, it was Stand Up, that includes the Bourré Bach version of Jethro Tull. And I was really interested in that, like a rock take on a classical song. It was new for me back then. So later, I had this friend of mine who asked me to help her to get rid of his dad collection to her home. And because of that, she gave me some records, and she didn't like that much Jethro Tull. So she gave me the Jethro Tull ones, which was only Stand Up and Songs from the Wood. But since then I became a fan of Jethro Tull. We're talking about probably 1996 or 1997, something like that. And then I went to this shop in Portugal that sold. It wasn't very common to find shops selling vinyl records back then, and this shop had quite a few selection. And I found out not this copy. This is the first press, first UK press on Chris Ellis with the green label, and the cover is really a journal. The one I got, it was like just a normal sleeve, no journal version. It has obviously this on the cover, but it wasn't this version. It was a simpler one. But I remember to ask a friend of mine, like, is this a single? And he was like, no, no, this is an album. Only one song. Yeah, this is an album. So yeah, there you go. Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick. So the 80s. The 80s, I'm going with Master of Puppets from Metallica. And this is the first pressing. I'm not sure of the year that it came out. I believe it was in 1986, but I'm not sure. But it's the first time it came out as a picture disc. And I really wanted this on picture disc because I had these two cousins that they usually used to show me like really nice music. One was more like into more, I don't know, Pink Floyd, Dire Straits, and even some new wave, some goth music, something like that. But the other one was really into heavy metal. We're talking about the 80s when the heavy metal exploded, especially thrash metal. And Metallica were a thrash metal band back then. And I remember seeing this cover in a magazine. So usually when my mom and dad used to visit his dad, and he used to live with his dad back then, I used to go to his room and always check the heavy metal album covers that he had, including Iron Maiden and Halloween, something like that. And I remember quite well staring at this picture disc. It was the same edition, this picture disc, for quite a while. This is from Music for Nations. And one day he offered me a tape that had Master of Puppets on one side and the Keeper of the Seven Keys from Halloween on the other side. So Halloween goes more towards like power metal in terms of vocals, which it didn't attract me that much. Even nowadays, that kind of heavy metal doesn't attract me that much. So I started with a little bit faster, like thrash metal stuff, and this was the original, the first album I ever listened of something that could be called metal or heavy. And I remember when I listened to it for the first time, I don't know if you are aware of this album, I think you should at least. It starts with this like classical flamenco intro that explodes, but it doesn't go towards the faster stuff straight away. It starts building up. So that was like, I remember back then I was a kid and people used to say, oh, heavy metal is just noise. It's not music. It's just noise. You can't understand anything. And it's music for the junkies. And you used to see quite a few junkies with t-shirts with Iron Maiden and Metallica or whatever. That was true. That was actually true. But not every person who listened to heavy metal was a junkie. So yeah, it was quite a surprise and an eye-opener in the sense that since I listened to this album, the expansion of my musical taste just has been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing into every possible genre of music that you may ever think. So there you go. This was, so for the 90s, I could go for lots of options because my teenage years were during the 90s. So I lived the 90s, like every kind of, I don't know, genre, album, artist that you may think. I was aware of them when they exactly came out. And one of them that was quite important, and when they came out, I became like this huge fan for a long, long time. It started vanishing after 98, but when this came out on the summer of 91, 10, this was really, this album was like kind of an introduction to bands like Deep Purple or Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin. This was like the most similar thing that came out that had a similar approach to that kind of 70s rock vibe. And it's still a very good album. It still lives up to this day. And it includes some of my favorite songs of Pearl Jam all time, and especially Jeremy, which I'm a fan of the bass instrument. And that bass line is one of my favorite all time ever, ever, ever. Simple, but I don't know, it's so cool. And I still can't find any song that has like a bass line like that one. It's quite unique. It's quite unique on itself. So there you go. This is my choice for the 90s, and I'm not gonna speak more about this because the video is going quite big. Oh, showing the record already. Sorry. For 2000s, well, 2000s, the decade of 2000 should start on 2001 actually, because the decade starts on 1 and finishes on a number with a 0. But usually people don't do that. Usually people start on 2000 with a 0 and then go until 2009. So let's go with that, because I really want to show this record, which is from a band called Glassjaw, US band. They kind of come from the closest that you could find back then when these guys came out was like probably Deftones, but they're not anything like that. They became more associated with what emo core started going on, or be considered as emo core, which is more punk pop, what people usually consider emo core. But anyway, this is a very good album. I listened when it came out. There's a song called Siberian Kiss, and the singer does this thing on the voice in the first verse that is insane. And it was produced by Ross Robinson, which is one of my favorite producers. He's kind of responsible for what you can call the best new metal albums that came out. He did a little bit more than that, and I think he still produces albums. But yeah, the guy usually would put the lead singer doing something extraordinary instead of only really, really good. And this happens like in most of his albums, the albums that he produced, this happens here. So this band right now, it's a little bit, they're still going on. They don't put an album out since 2019, I think, but they're still going on. Sometimes they do some shows, and their records can go for quite a high price. This is not the most expensive of them all, but it's not cheap nowadays. This is not the first time it came out on vinyl, because this album is from 2000, but the first time it only came out on CD. So the first time it came out on vinyl was on 2009, but only one record. And this is the version from 2015 that is on 2 records. I think they're on 45 RPM. And it's a remastered reissue, 180 grams. Again, doesn't mean anything, but let's say it. From Roadrunner Records, and it's a US, Canada, Europe. So I listen a lot to this album, but it has a special story I'm going to tell you as quick as possible to you guys, which is on 2015, I went to the hospital by emergency with pulmonary embolism. And let's say that usually that it's not a really, really bad thing, but I was in a situation that I wasn't aware I was developing that. And let's say that one more day or a few more hours might have cost my life. So I'm glad to be here. And I'm not going to talk about it, but this album was on my want list for a long time. And the first thing that I remember when my wife went to visit me was, that record that I always wanted. As soon as I get home, I'm going to order from eBay. And there you go. Okay, so this is like a stepstone, a symbol on my life that you can sometimes not be invisible, but go forward more than you thought you could. Okay, there you go. For 2010, I'm going with the 2010's decade. I am going with Kendrick Lamar, How to Pimp a Butterfly. This album is, I don't know, this is one of the best albums I ever heard in my life, no matter what music genre you're talking about. This is obviously hip hop, but you have like this saxophone guru, Kamasi Washington. I think I'm pronouncing the name correctly. He's really good, and he's really into jazz. He participates on this album a lot. There's also some other collaborations, especially from other hip hop rap artists. But this is like one of the best albums, hip hop rap albums all time, as well as one of the best albums all time, no matter what. Okay, so there you go. I'm not going along. This is like a 2015 European first press or OG, as you prefer, from Top Dog Entertainment, Aftermath Entertainment, and Interscope Records. There you go, my choice. So, I jumped. I said the 8th prompt, but there's still the 7th one missing. So let's go for the 7th one, which is A Real Stinker. Nominated track you hate from an album. I didn't put it aside, did I? Give me 1 second. No, I didn't, but it's easy. It's just right here. So, A Real Stinker. Nominated track you hate from an album you love. Why the hate? I know lots of people hate this band and hate this album, but I don't care. I love this band. It's a party band. It's from the new metal era, and they're still going on, and they still give great gigs. And unfortunately, their bass player just died recently, which is a shame, and kind of makes me think about, because he was just 1 year older than me, and he died with blood clots on his blood, which is a similar condition than the one I have. So yeah, it kind of put me down for quite a few days. And I'm talking about Limp Bizkit. And I know this, lots of people hate this band and hate this album, but I really love this album. And it grew on me through the years, curiously. But there is this track called Getcha Groove On, which has a collaboration from one of the Wu-Tang Clan guys. I can't remember which one of them is it. And there's also like a kind of remix of one song, Rolling Urban Assault Vehicle remix. So I'm going to be honest, this album without those two songs, especially Get Your Groove On, would be like an album with no skipping track for me. And usually when I listen to this record, especially on CD, the first thing I do is skip those tracks, because they just kill the vibe. It doesn't need it, not at all. And they are terrible. If you don't like Limp Bizkit, if you listen to those songs, gosh, those are really the ones that would put you out. So I'm just gonna say this is a first press from 2000, a European version from Flip Records and Interscope Records that curiously I ordered secondhand from US. So, 9th prompt. You get the opportunity to spend a day alone with one artist, walking a mountain trail, the beach, or hanging out in a city. Who would be that artist? And for me, it would be Steve Giles. If you don't know, Steve Giles is from a band called Dark. I think you're not recognizing the cover with this. And this is an album called Dark Around the Edges. This is like a special edition that came with like this outer sleeve I have here aside. Let's put it over there. This is a re-edition. I'm not going to take it out with lots of things, but it came out on the same label, which is, let me go of what I wrote, 2023 re-edition on Silly Court and SIS Records. SIS Records. It has like a similar, very similar label to the original one, but an original one copy from this album that is called Dark Round the Edges was sold quite recently for £35,000, if I'm not wrong, something like that. It's considered one of the most expensive sold albums ever. Steve Giles, I have him on my Facebook as a friend. Obviously, he's not a friend of mine. I don't speak with him, like not even on Messenger, but sometimes we exchange comments. And he seems a really nice guy. So the next question is, what would be your must-ask question? Well, it would be lots of them, but most probably for me, it would be, would you mind to autograph my record? And I think he would for sure. So there you go. Going forward, show record, 11th prompt. Show record that contains a track that always brings a tear to the eye, or are you a heartless bastard? No, I'm not a heartless bastard. And usually when I see dramas, movies, I just tend to like cry like a baby. Like probably like my grandpa was. He was like, he looked like this tough guy, but every time he watched a drama, there you go, you would see them like crying like a baby. And I'm a little bit like that. But usually there's only a few songs that really make me cry. But if you want to see me sobbing, and I don't know why, this is a band called Lonely the Brave that I had the opportunity to photograph their concert. That was like a time in my life where I tried to be a live photographer with my older son, and we would share the concert. Sometimes he would go. It was for this magazine, like online magazine. Sometimes he would go, sometimes I would go. And I went to the Lonely the Brave concert, and I had to buy the record. I became a fan straight away. Really love this song. You can say that they kind of sound a little bit more towards emo rock or pop rock, but with a voice more within the Eddie Vedder approach. Not that sounds like Eddie Vedder, but he has like this really great tone. And they have a song. If you guys gonna check it out on YouTube and listen to them, you're gonna say this guy is nuts. But don't ask me why. There's something in this song called Backroads that triggers me tears straight away. Especially when he goes to the last bit when he says, and I'll be the sky, if you'll be the sky, then I'll be the bird. And while he's singing it, guys, I sob literally. And every single time, I don't mind to listen to the song, but it happens every single time. I don't know why. There's not a reason why behind it, because there's lots of similar songs that I listen to, and that doesn't happen, but this one triggers me instantaneously. That reaction, and I don't know, maybe are the notes that they are hitting on the guitar, on the bass, the lead singer singing, the lyrics. I think it's a mixture of everything, and it might trigger probably a part of my life while I was constructing back my life, because I'm an immigrant, and when I moved in, things had to start climbing up, and life is not like this mountain that is go always straight up. It's like a mountain when sometimes when you notice you have to go down all the way back again to climb a little bit more. Yeah, and this lyric is pretty much that. So there you go. Lonely the Brave. This album is called The Day's War, and obviously it's a first press. I bought it when it came out on 2014 in one of their concerts, and it came out from Hustle Records, and it has this beautiful label. There you go. Approaching, almost getting there, guys. Show 3 albums from artists you've tried and tried to love, but you're questioning why bother. 12 prompt. Well, I don't have any albums with me that I don't like. Usually what happens is when I have an album that I found out that I don't like, I'll put it aside and then I'll get rid of it. So the closest I have, because I always been into drawing since I was a kid, and I really love the concept art of a record, and I grew up listening to records. What I have is some records that I have them more for the cover than for the music itself, and some of them I really don't tend to listen them that often. So I'm going to show you three of them, and one is Debbie Harry with an HR Giger cover, like I was talking about in the beginning of this video. Cuckoo, which is an amazing cover. It doesn't include it's a first UK edition, but doesn't include the poster. And I think the poster was only of a few editions. It wasn't on all of them. It came on Chrysalis, the blue label. And I only have this record because of the cover. So I tried to listen to it, but I don't feel like to put it spinning any single day, to be honest with you. So it's more because of the cover than anything else. This was the singer that opened for Focus, the concert I mentioned in the beginning. And the concert I saw from her, she's called Rachel Croft. The concert I saw from her, she was only playing guitar and singing. And actually, if you go to YouTube or a streaming service, the songs actually have all this kind of production like Lana Del Rey or something even more popish, which it doesn't sound as good to me as some songs sounded in the concert, but she was really nice. So I have the record. The record is autographed in my name and my wife's name, so it's quite special. It is the first record that she put out. I had a chance to speak a little bit with her, and actually she was the one who did the drawings, which really attracted me. So another one that I have for other reason than the music itself. Yeah, I tried to listen to it, but I don't think I'm going to spin it that many times, unfortunately. If she's watching this, sorry Rachel, I really love your music, but I would prefer personally to listen to you, just you and your guitar and nothing else. She has an amazing voice anyway. So if you like more commercial stuff, not straight pop, but more commercial stuff, go and check her out. Her voice is really, really good. There you go. Rachel Croft. And another example, to make three. I have this record from Status Quo, which I bought it because it's a vertical swirl. It doesn't come with the original insert, and this is one of the cheapest vertical swirls you can get. I only have a few. They are quite expensive, but anyway, I still have a dream on one day maybe I will be able to have most of them or all of them. You never know. So this one cost me like £3, and it's in pretty good shape, so I couldn't resist. But not that the record is bad, but it's something that I'm not gonna listen that much. So there you go. Now, show an album from an artist whose character disappoints you, or can you separate the artist from the art? Well, both. I can do both. So I can separate the artist from the art if I'm not aware of that thing related with the artist before I start liking his music. If it happens the opposite way, I can listen to the music. So there's a song in the movie Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. I refuse to watch the second one. I really love the first one. But yeah, there's a song in there from this artist that was part of the glam rock movement in UK. But a few years after, it was found out that he was an SO. I'm gonna say that. He was a sex offender. So yeah, he was in jail for quite a long time. He's already out, but I think he's a homeless guy right now. The good thing is that there's no royalties going towards him, so he doesn't earn a cent or a dime from his music, which is kind of the best punishment to it. So because I liked the song before I knew about the artist, I have this record, which is Glitter from Gary Glitter. And it's a first press. UK. So because of that, I'm okay to listen to it. But if any of my sons or my daughter approaches to me and says, "Well, what is this record?" I will straight away tell, "Look, before you listen to this music, I'll tell you about this guy." So there you go. I have it more for that song, and it cost me £1 because his records right now cost like almost nothing because of that. And but yeah, and let's say for historical reasons, because for a long time it was considered one of the most iconic glam rock records coming out from UK in the 70s. So there you go. You can go worse than this. Now, 14th prompt. If you had to sell your vinyl along with your record player, show the one album you hold on to a keepsake. And this is quite easy for me. It's going to be Converge, Jane Doe. This album was never had a reedition. I think it's the only one, almost the only one from Converge that it never had a reedition. This image became quite iconic. Most of you guys are not aware of it, but the people who like metalcore like me, this image is quite iconic. If you go to concerts, metalcore concerts, that usually there's always one guy at least using a shirt with this image, which I have one as well. So this album came out in 2001, and I bought it on 2005, and I had like my first bank overdraft. And I thought, what album, if I could choose only one album, what would be the album that I really want, I could resume it to one? And it was this one between like 6 or 7 more choices. So I'm really proud to have it and to bought it. I bought it for £75 in secondhand back then. But right now, this very edition by itself costs $375 with a fair cover, or else can go beyond 400. And it came out, this is a first pressing. It had like 4 different variations in terms of color. This is the brown and white one. It was only made 550 copies. And I'm going to show you why. Besides that, I'm not going to get rid of it, because besides being rare, and if I get rid of it, I almost got rid of it once in my life. I went to a shop in here. There was another time that I was really tight in terms of money. Like I told you, ups and downs in your life. Sometimes that happens. And I wanted to sell my Converge records, and the guy told me, "Dude, that's autographed. Don't sell that, man. Or if you're going to sell it, I'm going to give you the name of a guy who loves that kind of music, and he might give you a decent price for it. But my advice, don't sell it." And I will never, ever forget that. I could have gone, if I caught another guy, he probably would have given me, I don't know, $20 for this, or even less. And back then I was so desperate that probably I would have sold it for that. So there you go. I was pretty lucky. This is autographed like other albums I have from them. The first ones, because there was a friend of mine who played in Portugal before Converge in the same gig. And because of that, I gave him a phone call. I took my records with me, and I told him, "Dude, come outside just to meet me quickly before the concert." And I was like, "Man, just can you give my records to Converge to sign or autograph, as you prefer?" And the guy was like, "Dude, I'm really shy, and I don't like those kind of things myself, so I'm not very comfortable on doing it." And there was this friend of mine who had a record that I gave in that very day to him from Converge. He paid me for it. And the guy was like, "What the hell, man? Just screw it. Just give the records to the guys to sign. That's it, man." He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna think about it. I don't promise anything. So in the end of the concert, when the band was putting, it was a really small venue. Was a very intense concert, man. Oh gosh, it was so hot inside. I spent my whole money only on drinks with ice. That's how hot it was inside. And the concert, as soon as it started, there was people over me singing. So it was so intense. It was really good, really good. And in the end, the guys were putting everything back on. And I was able just to thank them. And then my friend came with the records with me. And the guy said, oh, those are your records. So thank you so much. That was pretty good. There are two records, actually, where the drummer and the bass player weren't included in that lineup. But they, like, one of them has the signature of the drummer, but with the name of the drummer from that record, and the other one has like there's a photo on the back with a concert photo that has a leg. You don't see the rest of the person, and the bass player put like an arrow saying this is my leg, and probably it is, who knows. So yeah, but that's quite personalized. So there you go. This is the one that I don't know if I probably will go in the coffin with me. 15. Discuss your VC highlight of 2025. If that's a video link, put it on, but it could be a meetup or some event. Well, the closest I have is I met Jake from the channel The Final Hunters. I don't know if you're aware of his channel. It's a channel that I follow for quite a while, and it's him and his granddad that he calls Papa Dave. It's very funny, especially his granddad. And I found him on Crazy Beat Records, which is the closest shop to me, and I go there frequently. And one day he was there, and he was really nice. I asked if he wouldn't mind to take a pic with me, so I'll put the pic on the picture, and that was it. And in the same shop, a few weeks or a month or two after, I found out Barry Winton, who has some books about vertical swirls, and he's mostly known for that. And the guy's around for a long time, and he knew lots of artists, including Jimi Hendrix and who knows what. And he has like these first pressings, UK vertical swirls, and besides, I think his collection is around 30,000 records, something like that. Quite impressive. And he really likes to talk about music. So I approached him and we talked a little bit. And actually, he's a really nice guy. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture with Barry Winton, but yeah, that was the closest I have for this prompt. Next one. Name your favorite musical biopic if you have one. Yes, I do. I surely do. And my favorite musical biopic, I'm going to show you a box set, which is not the vinyl. The vinyl is quite expensive, and I still haven't found a good bargain. So a good deal for it. It's Backbeat, which is a movie about before the success of the Beatles. So this is when nobody knew about them, and they went to Germany for a year or two to play in this kind of, I don't know, kind of sketchy place with some prostitutes, but they would play a lot, like 4 times a day, 2 hours in a row or something like that. It was quite intense. This movie is more like a biopic of Stuart Sutcliffe, which was originally the first bass player of the Beatles. But he was a painter, so he just earned some money with his paintings, and they needed someone with a bass player, and they convinced him to go with them and to buy a bass, and he didn't even know how to play the bass. And you have Cheryl Lee, which is, she does the role of Astrid Kirchherr. I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly the name, which was one of the first photographers of the Beatles ever. So there you go. It's a very interesting movie. And this box set includes, I'm going to show you quite quickly. The guy who offered me was really nice because he put out like this kind of extras like the cover of the VHS and some tickets, the cinema when the movie came out and he went to watch it, the Backbeat musical, another flyer related with the movie, and it has like these two booklets, one about the songs, one about other stuff related with it, and one about the paintings of Stu. And it comes with a tape, a VHS, and a CD. Now, if you don't know, which I didn't know for quite a while, before this thing of the internet started giving us extra information for free, the band that plays in this, which are not the actors, the musicians who played the versions on this movie are very well known, and I'm gonna say who. So we're talking about Dave Purner from Soul Asylum, who did Paul's vocals. Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth played the guitar, or one of the guitars. Mike Mills from REM played the bass. Dave Grohl from Nirvana and Foo Fighters played the drums. And Henry Rollins from Black Flag played Stewart. So, yeah, you can get a better set of musicians just to play this initial phase of the Beatles that includes Twist and Shout. So it's quite a 90s take on rock and roll. So for people who didn't like the Beatles back then and listened to this as the first time they heard something related with the Beatles, that's like a good, very, very good start for a 90s teenager, let me say. So this came out on 1994. There you go. Almost finishing. Sorry about it. I didn't want this video to take too long, but this is going to be my last video this year. So there you go. 17th prop. Give 3 reasons why jazz matters and show a favorite album. So let's go straight forward. Without jazz, there would never be funk, bossa nova, and prog rock music. So there you go, my 3 reasons. And if those 3 genres would never exist, there would never existed more genres or subgenres and more bands and more projects. So I go towards that kind of roots. So music, it's like this tree, and when you start searching it, you go through all the ramifications, but jazz is more into the roots. So there you go. This is the shortest answer I can give about 3 reasons for someone to listen to jazz or why the jazz matters. Show an album. So I'm going to show the first one from Jaco Pastorius. And I already told I'm a big fan of the bass instrument, and there was a time, I think on 2022, I did like this kind of few episodes on interviews with some Portuguese musicians, and I did one with one of my favorite bass players in Portugal, which is Ricardo Dick, and he said something that stayed in my mind that I already thought, but I never put it in words, which is musical history has, in terms of bass, you have the before Jaco Pastorius and you have the after Jaco Pastorius. And it really made me think, because it's really true, because he changed the sound of the instrument forever. The instrument was never approached the same way, and it started with Weather Report, but especially with this album, there are certain bass players that still refer this album as like their Bible to start really learning how to play bass properly. So there you go, Jaco Pastorius, and this is an epic US first press edition. Yeah, that's it, from 1976. There you go. Almost finishing. Sorry, guys. So, 18th. You're an innocent man or woman on death row. They give you one last musical request. What you ask for? Well, I'm this guy, like, when I don't have a chance anymore, I accept my fate and I jump straight ahead. So, if that was the case, I wanted to go with the middle finger up in the air, don't get me wrong, and this will be with a song in this record that is a cover of a song from David Allan Coe called Take This Job and Shove It. So there you go, that's how I would like to go. With my middle finger up high, singing Take This Job and Shove It, I ain't work here no more. So this is a really great record. If you don't know about it, this is a first press or an OG UK, and it's a Porky cut, same as Franken Christ, although the Franken Christ is a German one. They're both from Alternative Tentacles, and what can I say? I'm a sucker for Dead Kennedys. There you go. 19. Sell your favorite artist to a new listener. Show one album and explain why. They should make time for it. So, here's the deal. Back in 2021, while we were, or 2020, while we were all at home without being able to go anywhere else, like everyone, I watched lots of things on TV, movies and documentaries, and there was this one around Amazon Prime in UK back then. That was, I forgot to put the name of the documentary, that was related with this band called Brainiac, which I never heard about until then. And I started to watch it, and it was this band from 1996, from the 90s. So they put the first record on 1993, and the last record was on 1997, because Tim, the lead singer and the main composer and the genius, he was a genius. He unfortunately died on a car crash. And I just thought, when I finished to watch that documentary, why haven't I heard about this band before? And I fell in love. So I went straight to streaming, checked everything they had available in terms of streaming. Then I went on Discogs, and I found out that the first records, the original editions, are quite expensive, especially the first two ones. I only have a re-edition of the first one. I'm still missing one. The second record I'm still missing. It wasn't re-edited anymore, so I'm not going to spend like almost $200 on it. Unfortunately, I don't have any means to do it, or else I would, because I really love this band. So the best way I can describe it is try to check for Brainiac for the documentary, and that's the best way, man. You will find Tim a genius, as I did, and you will fall in love with this band as I did, for sure. That's it. So I'm just gonna suggest you their album that is called Hissing Prigs in Static Couture, or Couture. I can't pronounce it correctly. I don't even know what that really means. I know what each term means, but as a whole sentence, I don't even know what that means. Probably not even the band knows what that really means. But yeah, try to find them out. They could have been one of the most groundbreaking bands ever, because they were about to sign with a big label before Tim died. So who knows? No, who knows? There you go. So the 20th and the last question. Hooray! You're arranging a VC meetup in 2026, excluding those you've already met. Invite 3 people you'd most like to meet. So there's these 3 people I already met online, and I used to do like this kind of podcast with them, where we would speak about, like, for 1 hour or 2, something related with music. But there was a guy, we were 4, counting with me. But there was this guy was assassinated in my hometown, and he left his wife and a baby daughter. And we decided to do something about it. So we got together and we put something online. Lots of people gathered with us. We didn't do it by themselves. The podcast was called The Elephant in the Room, so we start being known as the Elephants. And we were able to raise, obviously with the help of lots of people, we were able to raise 4,000 euros to put in the bank account of that guy's daughter. So, but because of that, there was so much pressure in it while we did it through months and months in a row, that we kind of never went back to the podcast, and then we went, each of us, into different kind of things in life. So that is Pedro Caramel, which he used to have this YouTube channel called Caramelo Records, or Pedro Caramelo Records. He stopped doing it. He's now just doing printings on t-shirts, and he's really dedicated to it. And it's unfortunately, he stopped doing it, although he only spoke in Portuguese. Andrea Lasca, I consider them all my brothers, to be honest with you. I never met him personally, but I consider them all my brothers from the heart. Andrea Lasca, or Alaska Apenas, he has a YouTube channel. I can put the link in the video description. You can check it out. Sometimes, only a few times he speaks in Portuguese. Most of the time he speaks in English. He's not really on the VC, but he started to buy vinyl records quite recently, from 1 year to now, something like that. So he's still getting the addiction in it. But he's always suggesting new music and always listening to new music, or going through all the stuff that he never listened before and giving his take. So try to go and check him out, or at least leave him a subscribe or a thumbs up on a video or two. That would be really, really nice. And there's Luis Valente, which is another brother of mine who was part of that thing. And he started a channel a few years ago, and he did some attempts on trying to do some stuff, but he's really dedicated into his family life. And he was a dad quite recently. So congratulations, my brother. Really proud of you. And yeah, I think if I had the chance right now to meet with someone, it would be with them, because we never met. The four of us never met. We never been together personally in the same space. So that would be really amazing, because we have kind of this bond that it's unbreakable, and that would be amazing. So that's it. To whoever watched this 1 hour and 18 minutes of my video, thank you very, very, very much. This is going to be my last video in 2025 for this channel. I will be back on January, I promise, because we're a family of teachers, so the holidays are approaching, and we're going to be together and spend some time together. And don't get me wrong, my family is first than anything else, and that's what I'm going to be dedicated to. I'm going to put I can answer to some comments, or comment back to some videos, and still subscribe some videos, but and channels, sorry. But yeah, for this channel and for me, I'm out for until I don't know, probably January the 5th or something like that. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. Have a really nice Christmas and Happy New Year for you all. And that's it for me. I'm